Hey, what's up guys, Rev here. Today we're going to once again witness YouTube doing everything in its power to ruin this platform. Today we'll go over yet another massive change that 99% of its users and content creators don't want to see. This time with the removal of public dislike counts on YouTube. Essentially, you'll still be able to dislike videos, but the ratio of likes versus dislikes and the total number of dislikes on videos will no longer be available to the public. So in a little spoiler of this manga, I'm going to list out the reasons why I think this is a horrible decision, not only for content creators, but also for the average viewer as well. The dislike bar provides feedback for creators, protection for viewers against scams and dangerous content, and honestly, it just gives a public voice in a very identifiable way for users. And as we'll see, this attempt by YouTube to quote-unquote protect the mental health of small creators is a complete joke, because the dislikes will still be visible to creators in their YouTube statistics found in their creator studio. And now, people left with no dislike option will be encouraged to make negative comments instead of leaving a simple dislike. But we will break all of that down one by one in this video, and it's a little longer than the usual video around here, so bear with me please. So it probably comes as no surprise, this tweet has ironically been ratioed and blasted by just about every corner of the internet. Literally all ends of the spectrum on YouTube coming together to spread YouTube's worn out and loose ass cheeks in order to mock their hypocrisy and lack of insight on this issue. But first, I want to read out loud the full tweet that was posted by YouTube yesterday announcing the change. To reduce targeted dislike attacks and their impact on creators, especially on small creators, you'll no longer see a public dislike count on YouTube starting today. The dislike button is staying. This comes after lots of research, testing, and consideration, and then there's a link to the video we'll talk about soon. So YouTube is quite infamous for making bad or greedy decisions while hiding their ulterior motives by saying they're doing X, Y, or Z in order to protect creators. In this case, small creators. If you're a creator with any sort of established viewer base, there's a 99.9% chance that you didn't blow up in the first couple weeks of your channel. Almost all content creators have spent some time, even years, as a quote-unquote smaller creator. I myself took a long time to gain traction. Who would have thought my shitty anime vines were not the game-changing content that the world wanted to jump at? I know, crazy, right? But in all seriousness, I uploaded consistently for almost 2 years before I reached 10k subs. And even though things have grown a lot since then, I haven't forgot what it's like to be a 10-like Andy with very little attention on your videos. And I'll be perfectly honest, yes, when you only get 10 likes on a video and a comment or two, they have a much bigger impact and it's a lot harder to ignore that kind of feedback. And as much as my pride would not have wanted to admit it back then, my videos were hot garbage. I mean, they're low quality even now, but trust me, what I make now is 10 times better than what I used to make 4 years or so ago. That dislike bar, although cruel at times, is a very important piece of feedback. It's important for growing and small creators trying to test their waters. It's important for big channels as well to see how their audience is receiving their content, especially if they're switching up to new content. As you can probably guess, this has nothing to do with channel size. The dislike button is an extremely important tool for feedback for all channels. Will it get abused sometimes? Duh, of course. But that's not a reason to get rid of it. Like, should we stop grading schoolwork because low grades hurt people's feelings? No. Should we stop rating movies because it might hurt the director's feelings? No. Feedback is important, especially in a field where the social response to your videos is everything. And also, as we'll discuss, a way to protect users from scams, misdirections, and harmful content. And while YouTube has been getting ass blasted on social media for this, their Twitter account has been making a futile effort to damage control and has been responding to some of the criticism. One user responded to the original announcement with, "I'm sorry, but what are these quote-unquote targeted dislike attacks you're talking about? Mass dislikes happen on videos that get bad reception. That's how it works. There's no attacks happening. Hiding it just babies channels that can't handle any kind of criticism." Which I completely agree with. These mass dislike campaigns are something I really have never heard of. The only time videos get dislike bombed is when they're really popular or they're gaining a lot of negative feedback on other platforms that draws people in to check it out. Nobody's gonna waste their time to wrangle up a hate mob to dislike bomb a video with 10 views. I just don't believe that happens. But in their incompetence, YouTube responded by saying this: dislike attacks happen when users act to harass a creator by driving up the number of dislikes on their videos. The goal of these attacks is not to give genuine feedback, but rather to hurt and harass creators. But dislikes are a genuine form of feedback. How does anyone know if a dislike is genuine or not? And I don't understand how Google, a multi-billion dollar corporation that employs some of the smartest minds in the world, would not be able to create a system that would weave out obvious dislike bombs on small creators. Like if 10 people go on a little dislike pump and dump on a random small creator, that trail should be picked up by AI. Like how if I say a naughty word 6 minutes into this video, the AI you guys already employ will pick it up without a doubt. There has to be similar tech available. Which leads me into another major point I want to discuss. What happens when you turn off the dislike bar for viewers? When they're mad about a video or just dissatisfied in some sort of way, what will they do to make their voices heard? Will they hit the now meaningless dislike button, or will they be encouraged now to write a negative comment to voice their dissatisfaction instead? I'm gonna say people will be much more inclined to leave negative comments now that they can't simply dislike the video. And if you're dealing with a content creator who is sensitive about dislikes, do you really think they would rather deal with negative comments? I don't think so. Which, I'm gonna be brutally honest, if you're that upset about dislike ratios on your videos, maybe YouTube isn't for you. Having a YouTube channel is not some human right, it's a privilege. And in the realm of entertainment, maybe not everyone is cut out mentally for the public attention and feedback, and you know what, that's not a bad thing. This kind of feedback loop is not for everyone, and neither should it cater to the very small minority that is sensitive to it. I mean, here's a quick personal anecdote. When I first started YouTube and got about 10 likes per video, this guy admitted to me, for whatever reason he was upset, that he would put 2 dislikes on all of my videos. One on his main account, one on his alt account. I'll be honest, all this did was motivate me to gain a bigger following to drown him out with more likes. Yeah, it was a bummer in some sense, but I turned that into motivation. And by the way, he has slowed down a little bit and only does it on one account these days, but he still does it 4 years later the second videos go live. And you know what? Fucking kudos to him. I respect the grind. I think of it as a positive. This person puts a view on every video I make. I know that dislike he leaves is meaningless. It doesn't hurt my feelings because I know the vast majority of likes and dislikes are done in an honest way. So instead of wanting the system to bend over to serve me, I think many creators, like myself, can find a way to shape even negative uses of the dislike system in their own form of motivation. Next, I want to talk about how the dislike bar protects viewers from scams and harmful content. One user replied to YouTube's tweet with this: Robux scam streams, Fortnite scam streams, life scam streams, LOL. Hiding dislikes is a nightmare. Which he's right. The quickest way to identify a scam, a poor tutorial, or dangerous content disguised as something else is to look at the dislike bar. If what's supposed to be an innocuous and safe video has an enormous amount of dislikes, that signals to the viewer that something is wrong, putting them on alert, so to speak. Now that the dislike bar is gone, people really will be victimized more by these sorts of content. And how did YouTube respond to this concern? It's so embarrassing. They said, "Big sigh. Scams are not allowed on YouTube, so this isn't the experience we want you or anyone to have." It's the same as calling the cops to report you were just robbed, and they tell you that's impossible because robbery is illegal. It's so tone deaf and stupid, I don't even know. They have to be trolling. Big sigh, they say. Shut the hell up. Now, I have some other lesser points I can make, but I don't want this video to go on forever, so I'll end it with one final point. The hypocrisy of it all. If you watch the video they link in the original tweet, it is ironically ratioed with dislikes, which, by the way, were supposed to be turned off yesterday. Their main point is that hiding the dislike tracker will protect creators' mental health, because out of sight, out of mind, which is quite rich, because YouTubers will still be able to see the dislike ratio in their YouTube statistics, so they can still privately see these numbers. And just as a side note for those who are watching this video as regular viewers and not as content creators, no YouTuber goes to the actual video to check on it for stats. They go to their analytics in their YouTube page So the main spot to notice dislikes will still have it front and center, defeating the whole purpose of removing it from the public in the first place. But ladies and gentlemen, I can guess pretty strongly why this is happening. Big shock. It's not in the best interest of creators. It's for journalists and corporations who are butthurt about being ratioed, rightfully, with dislikes on their content. And they carry a lot of power, and once again, YouTube gave in to them and sold out not only creators, but viewers as well. It's a sad day, honestly, but I'm not even surprised at this point. Sorry for the rant, but anything with YouTube really hits close to home for me, and I know you guys like being informed on these issues too. So, leave a like, I guess. That still exists, for now. But anyways, thanks for listening. I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time.